I never thought I would find myself in this situation. But here I am, standing in my aunt's living room, trying to come to terms with everything she just told me. It all started a few weeks ago when I began to suspect that my wife, Emily, was being unfaithful. She had been distant and secretive, and there were times when I caught her texting someone late at night, hiding her phone whenever I walked into the room. When I confronted her about it, she denied that anything was going on and assured me that I was just being paranoid. I wanted to believe her, but the evidence was hard to ignore. So, I turned to the one person who has always been there for me in times of trouble. See Rebellious Aunt, Lisa. She is her mom's younger sister, and since I knew her, she has always been like a second mother to me. We have a close relationship and can talk about anything, so I felt comfortable confiding in her about my suspicions regarding Emily's infidelity. To say that Aunt Lisa was shocked would be an understatement. She couldn't believe that Emily would do something like that to me and insisted that there must be some sort of misunderstanding. But as we talked more, she began to realize that my concerns were warranted. That's when Aunt Lisa dropped the bombshell on me. See, she had known about Emily's affair for quite some time now. Apparently, my wife had confided in her about it and begged her not to tell me. And being the loving and supportive aunt that she is, Lisa agreed not to say anything. I felt like the wind had been knocked out of me as Aunt Lisa continued to explain herself. She said that she didn't condone Emily's behavior, but didn't want to get involved in our marriage drama either. She thought that we should work things out together without any outside interference. As much as I appreciated Aunt Lisa's intentions, it was hard to wrap my head around the fact that she had been covering for my wife's infidelity. It made me question everything. See, not just my marriage, but also my relationship with my aunt. How could she keep something like this from me? And what did it say about her own moral compass? Before I could fully process everything, Aunt Lisa stepped closer to me and placed a comforting hand on my arm. "I'm so sorry, dear," she said softly. "I never wanted you to find out like this, but I thought you deserved to know the truth." Her touch sent a shiver down my spine, and I couldn't help but notice how good it felt. Aunt Lisa has always been an attractive woman, even though she is in her late 40s now. She has long, flowing brown hair and sparkling blue eyes that can light up a room. And while she may not have the same youthful figure as Emily, there is still a certain sexiness about her mature curves. As I stood there, lost in conflicting emotions, Aunt Lisa's hand began to caress my arm gently. It was such a simple gesture, yet it filled me with a sense of warmth and comfort that I hadn't felt in a long time. "I know this must be overwhelming for you," Aunt Lisa said softly, her voice tinged with sympathy. "If there's anything I can do to help you through this, anything at all, please don't hesitate to let me know." I looked into her eyes and saw genuine concern reflected in them. She wasn't just saying these things out of obligation or pity. She truly cared about helping me heal from the pain that Emily had caused. Without thinking, I reached out and pulled Aunt Lisa into a hug. Her body pressed against mine as we embraced, and I could feel the softness of her curves against my chest. It was an innocent gesture of comfort between family members, but I couldn't ignore the way it made me feel. As we pulled away from the hug, Aunt Lisa looked up at me with a hint of something in her eyes. See, desire. It was fleeting, so I wasn't sure if I had imagined it or not. But there was definitely a different energy in the room now, and I couldn't help but be drawn to it. "I think we both need a drink," Aunt Lisa said suddenly, breaking the tension that had settled between us. "How about some whiskey? It's always been my go-to for moments like these." I nodded in agreement. grateful for an excuse to distract myself from the thoughts swirling around in my head. Aunt Lisa disappeared into the kitchen for a moment before returning with 2 glasses filled with amber liquid. We sat down on the couch together, sipping our drinks in companionable silence. The whiskey burned as it went down, warming me from the inside out. It helped to numb some of the pain and confusion that I was feeling, allowing me to relax a little. As we continued to drink and talk, Aunt Lisa moved closer to me on the couch until our thighs were touching. She didn't say anything about it, or acknowledge what she was doing. She just let it happen naturally. Her proximity sent another shiver down my spine, and I could feel my body responding to her presence in ways that I hadn't expected. My heart began to race, and a familiar stirring started to grow in my groin. I tried to push these feelings aside and concentrate on what Aunt Lisa was saying. After all, this was just a difficult conversation between family members, see nothing more. But then Aunt Lisa reached over and placed her hand on mine, effectively silencing any rational thoughts that were left in my head. Her touch was soft yet electrifying, sending shockwaves of pleasure through every nerve ending in my body. She looked at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of compassion and something else, lust. It was a raw, primal desire that I had never seen before in anyone's eyes, let alone my aunt's. I know this may not be the right time or place, Aunt Lisa said in a husky voice that sent a shiver down my spine. But there's something I need to show you, something that I've been keeping from you for far too long. Before I could respond, Aunt Lisa stood up and took my hand in hers, leading me down the hallway towards her bedroom. My mind was spinning with questions and confusion, but my body was completely under her spell. I followed her willingly, eager to see where this unexpected journey would lead us. As we entered Aunt Lisa's bedroom, she closed the door behind us and turned to face me. The air was thick with anticipation and desire as she took a step closer and placed her hands on my chest. "I need to show you how much I care about you," Aunt Lisa whispered, her breath hot against my ear. "And the only way I know how to do that is by giving myself to you completely." I looked into her eyes, searching for any sign that she might be joking or playing some kind of cruel trick on me. But all I saw was sincerity and a burning hunger that mirrored my own. Before I could say or do anything, Aunt Lisa leaned in and pressed her lips against mine in a searing kiss. Her mouth was soft yet demanding as our tongues entwined in a passionate dance. I moaned into the kiss, unable to hold back the overwhelming surge of emotions that were coursing through me. All of my inhibitions and reservations melted away as I surrendered to the intoxicating pleasure of Aunt Lisa's embrace. Her hands began to roam over my body, exploring every inch of bare skin they could find. She tugged at the hem of my shirt, silently asking for permission to remove it. I pulled away from the kiss just long enough to lift my arms, and she eagerly peeled the fabric away, revealing my toned chest and abdomen. Aunt Lisa's eyes roamed over my bare torso, drinking in the sight of my naked flesh. She traced her fingers lightly over the contours of my muscles, sending waves of pleasure radiating out from each touch. "You're even more beautiful than I imagined," Aunt Lisa said in a husky voice filled with desire. "I've wanted this for so long, to feel your body against mine, to taste every inch of you." Her words sent a surge of heat straight to my groin, causing my erection to strain against the fabric of my pants. Aunt Lisa noticed the effect that she was having on me and smiled seductively before dropping to her knees in front of me. I watched in awe as Aunt Lisa deftly unbuckled my belt and unbuttoned my pants before sliding them down along with my boxers. Now it was like time stood still. I couldn't say if it has been just a few minutes or hours. But what Lisa did and how she cared for me let me forget everything what I just found out about Emily. It felt like eternity within seconds. It was like all the emotions gathering within were pulled out together, and when Lisa and I made love, they all came out, strangely mixed in desire, anger, disappointment, and guilt, all leading to an emotional climax bursting out. It was like Lisa could see feel and heal all of my emotions. She acknowledged them and she was there for me. I couldn't remember to ever have such a connection of emotional understanding ever before. When we were lying in each other's arms afterwards, covered in sweat, time was slowly back to running normal. And together with the feelings of shame and guilt, I was thinking of the conflict I would have with Emily. Everything seemed so complicated. But I was pretty sure that Aunt Lisa will help me through this phase of my life, being able to stop my time and bring pure simplicity to our lives with some everlasting moments, feeling like eternity.